real truth is actually inside. Like, all right, I have that information, but like, let me go within. What are your thoughts on that?
And this feels very solar plexus or identity centered for people who don't know who they are always referencing somebody who they think they knows who they are. But nobody knows who they are. People don't know that
Yeah.
they're hybrids and that they're as much space aliens as they are anything else. And so we're attributing a lot of importance to religious leaders or political leaders in the hopes that they will give us the thing that we do not think we are capable of giving ourselves. And we are here to say that we want to build a world and a community where we own our own sovereignty, where we are willing to illuminate ourselves through what exists from creation and beyond. So hopefully this will give inspiration and hope to those who are regurgitating all of the things that
Yes.
others have said and hoping that they will come true. I hope it's true. I hope there's a savior. I hope that the aliens are coming to save us. I hope, you know, we are in the practical application of making sure we call for the truth to see what is within us that we can contribute with others to build communities that can be self-sufficient and can be sovereign and do for ourselves. The idea of illumination can be produced from bringing your own light in, from putting your light together with other people's lights and making something happen. Welcome to Call for the Truth. I am LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tarvars of the Sun. And we welcome you to our discussion today about illumination. But before we begin, Tarvars, will you bring us into the Call for Truth?
Most certainly, and we encourage you all to join us in calling forth the frequency of truth. Should we call forth the frequency of truth? Should we call to see the truth and all that we see? Should we call to hear the truth and all that we hear? Should we call to speak the truth? Calling forth the courage to speak the truth. Should we call forth nothing less than the truth to come forward into our experience? I can feel the truth moving in. I'm focused on the throat because we are in the throat chakra for light body.
Right. That's right.
Inspiration behind the call for the truth cards.
Yes.
And so today we are covering the theme illumination from the cards, and the maxim is the search for illumination must begin within oneself. Everything is inside. All of this is an inside job. It is the inner stirrings that manifest. Now this card is associated with the crown chakra, and one of the things that comes to mind initially with this is everything within this system has conditioned us to go outside. Look outside at someone else as an authority. Working with you and Within of the Sun for well over a decade, it has been enticing and attractive because it's different from what I've found out there. You have put forth great effort to make sure people aren't parasiting off of you and to find their own power.
Yes.
So you would always direct us back to ourselves.
Right.
Even when you've taught us modalities in which to acquire truth, whether it's through speaking directly to our body's intelligence, speaking to our greater guidance, speaking to trees. We go to you, oh, LaOta, and then you're like, did you ask your guidance? Did you check? Did you check? Did you get illuminated? And again, that's different than what we've experienced with the human in this collectively shared human experience.
Yes.
You know, go give your energy to the guru, to the person in the white lab coat, to your government, your president, whomever, or corporations. And illumination is not from inside. I have seen it is
Not
from
inside? Did you say illumination is not from inside?
It's not from the outside.
Outside. Okay.
It and you know, we could seemingly be tricked where, oh, I've learned something, I've read something, I've heard something from someone who was illuminated, so therefore I'm illuminated through osmosis, but I have found that true illumination, like this card says, it comes from the direct experience of truth moving through our consciousness, not just from an external point.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on this, LaOta?
You said a lot here. The importance, I think, of remembering who we are. We are established in truth. We are aspects of divinity from Creator. We are the truth. So when we start looking for the door to give us truth, or the cabinet to give us truth, or the refrigerator to give us truth, or somebody's book on Amazon to give us truth, we have already stepped away from the connection to the truth that is immediate within us in the silence, when we go into the silence, into meditation, into quiet, when we ground, when we're under the sun, when we're in the elements, when we're breathing the air. That level of truth cannot be usurped, or it cannot be greater. That what other people give us cannot be greater than our own direct experience. So, of the sun is truly built on direct experience, although, of course, we do use some references, but we're not referencing the world through what somebody else wrote 20,000 years ago, or 10,000 years ago, or 6,000 years ago. We're not building a ship on, they wrote it, so it must be so. They wrote it, and we don't really understand their language, but we've interpreted it, and it's been misinterpreted, and it's been translated. But we think that we know what they said, and we're going to roll with that.
That's too loosey-goosey for me. It's too loosey-goosey.
When our direct experience, and we can be guided, of course, through things, but we have also found out that our science has not been accurate, and that our religious leaders have not been moral, and we found a lot of things that we have given our power to, and it is accurate to say that the illumination which is being spoken of is powered by the authenticity of the soul. That there's only so much light you can get from someone else's light. You know, so they were enlightened and they wrote something. Now I'm reading it, so no, you're not them. No, it's not the same. So you get to read Shakespeare, so now you're Shakespeare?
But apparently that's how it's been. I want to pivot a little bit. We're in a time where a lot of truth is coming out. You and I were actually discussing how not so long ago, in our channel, it was censored. You know, what do they call it? Shadow banned, because of what we were speaking about. Because we were talking about Pizzagate, we were talking about Catholic priests and this and pedophilia and that. And there's like, no, stop. Shadow ban. But now there's like a floodgate that's open now. But
we were a little ahead of the curve.
Always. However, there's something that I've seen with this where people, in their pursuit for truth or this illumination, I know more about the world, I know more about the truth, and it feels like a psyop. It feels like, we're going to keep you focused on out there, because how much of what's going on in terms of, I'm doing what I can to refrain from using the word conspiracy, because people are conspiring, but how much of that do you have to see before you're like, okay, I've seen enough, let me go inside, let me do what I need to do for me to grow? So I feel as though, like, what has been happening in terms of, yes, truth is coming forth, but a loss of balance of real truth is actually inside. Like, all right, I have that information, but like, let me go within. What are your thoughts on that?
This feels very solar plexus or identity centered. For people who don't know who they are always referencing somebody who they think knows who they are. But, nobody knows who they are. People don't know that they're hybrids and that they're as much space aliens as they are anything else. And so we're attributing a lot of importance to religious leaders or political leaders in the hopes that they will give us the thing that we do not think we are capable of giving ourselves. And we are here to say that we want to build a world and a community where we own our own sovereignty, where we are willing to illuminate ourselves through what exists from creation and beyond. So hopefully this will give inspiration and hope to those who are regurgitating all of the things that
Yes.
others have said and hoping that they will come true. I hope it's true. I hope there's a savior. I hope that the aliens are coming to save us. I hope, you know, we are in the practical application of making sure we call for the truth to see what is within us that we can contribute with others to build communities that can be self-sufficient and can be sovereign and do for ourselves. The idea of illumination can be produced from bringing your own light in, from putting your light together with other people's lights and making something happen.
I like how you say there's many people waiting for a savior in some shape or form. And again, the book is like, it's the inner strength that manifests. As a matter of fact, it continues on stating, looking outside self is looking in the wrong direction. And again, it feels as though reality in general is just such one great big psyop. And would you take us into the idea of the solar plexus and how it dampens our perception of our own divinity? Like when we got a muddied up solar plexus or perception of self or self-worth and value, where we can't even see that, look, you got some juice, you got some light, but you over here trying to lean up against that wick thinking you're nothing. Like when you got it in you.
You're going to make me pull out my
Stamps of validation. Yes. Pull it out on them. Pull it out on them.
I happen to have in my back pocket authorization and validation for my next moves, always. And I am resistant and not compliant with asking you if it's okay.
There's so much power in the soft-spoken tone.
Yes.
So
and
much
so
clarity.
The idea of solar plexus is the not having the clarity, in this case, in the way we're using it, is not having the clarity of your own identity, so requiring someone else's identity to verify or validate you so that you may move forward and be alive and true to what it is that you were meant to do. It is understandable, and it is with great compassion that we know that we have been absconded with. Our understandings of ourselves have been colonized and absconded with, and we don't know who we are, we don't know what's going on, but it is available to us if we were to go inside. It is an inside job. What we are looking at, we're making it all up. And the confusion and chaos and war that we see is what is happening internally inside of humans that don't have the clarity of the divine beings that we are.
Where's the most dangerous place to keep your money right now? And I'll prove it in 60 seconds. Most people think banks are safe. They believe their deposits are sitting in a vault with their name on it. But here's the truth. The moment you hand money to the bank, it's no longer yours. Legally, you're a creditor. And in a crisis, creditors are paid last, if at all. Banks don't protect your money. They use it. They lend it, they leverage it, and gamble it. If their bets go bad, you carry the risk. And if inflation rises, your safe savings lose. They lose value every single year. That's why millionaires don't park cash in banks. They park cash in assets. History proves it. Cyprus 2013, deposits frozen, savers lost billions. Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey, currencies collapsed, savings evaporated. Even in the US, over 500 banks failed since 2008. And yet, central banks themselves are quietly stacking gold at record levels. Why? Because they know the real safety lies. Because they know where the real safety lies. So here's how you protect yourself. Keep only what you need for daily liquidity in the bank. Move the rest into assets that can't be frozen or printed. Things like gold, real estate, and private equity. Build a reserve outside the system so you own your money, not rent it. Start now, because the riskiest place to keep wealth is where everyone else feels safe.
Would you go a little deeper on this? We're making it all up in terms of, it's funny, I'm thinking about the crown and the idea of divinity and inspiration, and then I'm looking outside of self, like, we made this. And then my mind goes to how not knowing who we are, like not having the clarity, it's our imagination, our divine, the divine conduits that we are used against us to create a reality that clearly is not desirable, but we are participatory in it.
It's so interesting. I think one of the ways that you could see it is in the third dimension, people use birth control because what they produce automatically happens if they have sex, whether they want it or not, if they haven't done some pre-work to make sure it doesn't happen.
Do you or someone you know lack self-control? Well, here's birth control.
So,
Outsource your power.
yes, so that's actually, we are birthing from what is within us, which is what, having children is. Mm-hmm. It is a function of producing what you already are, but the mechanism that if you do nothing and your mechanism works, you will reproduce. And you can be shocked and surprised, but it is clear that that's how that process works. However, you could decide to plan, prepare, and reproduce with consciously. So what we're talking about is our world is being produced from what's inside of us all the time if we don't gather ourselves, plan, and consciously decide what should happen. We're getting the world that is inside of us as we join together spontaneously, because that's how, at this level, this works.
This is such a great way to see both of those understandings merge as one thing.
Yes.
It breaks down the compartmentalization between creative energies producing a child and how the movement of consciousness, and this is what I'm seeing, the mechanism, the movement of consciousness itself, like you ain't got to try to do nothing. Like, right. You're creating, you're manifesting.
Yes.
Based off of what's inside of you already.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Like you go to procreate, like, yeah, baby pops out. Like you don't have to really
and
try.
And that baby then is part of both the two entities that contributed DNA to it. In the same way, our reality is a contributing factor to what all of us are contributing to it.
Look, come on, tribe. It takes a village. It takes a village.
Yeah, so I mean, so I don't know if that is a good analogy for you to see, but the outer reality is a result of the inner, whatever the condition is, the inner peace, the inner chaos, the inner war.
I think it's a great analogy because, people see themselves in their children. It's like, ooh, look at little me. For better or for worse.
And whether they intended to have it or intended it for later or didn't make a decision and it just happened or mm-hmm. planned it and are in more attention and clarity with it. This is what's happening in reality. This is the mechanism of creation that happens as a result of you paying attention or non-paying attention.
So let's speak a little bit more about the intentionality of creation. We've been spoken to by the consciousness of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and specifically with the divine feminine having vision. Vision that's, again, not from what's out there, but from what's in here. What is divine? Again, crown chakra, the divine telling you. How can we better go about that in terms of like lining ourselves up, specifically in a way where we are planning, like through our consulting with the divine inside?
I think at this point it's still, we have so much compassion for the position we find ourselves in as humanity, where women and men have been cultivated so towards making a living and so towards trying to exist in the reality of what it takes to live comfortably, mm-hmm. yeah. that everything else is scrambled. So when you're wanting to have children, you're like, but I want to live nice, wanting to have children, but I want to be successful at work. But I haven't found anybody, and I'm a different age now. All of those things are such contributing factors that until we produce civilization communities and produce a different way of experiencing reality where we live more like the birds or the squirrels, or that, they're not having to pay rent. And like, we create communities that get us at a certain standard of living and a certain nutritional level that leaves us free enough that we can then devote ourselves. We can devote ourselves to raising children and having them when it's most optimal, only having them if we have the temperament for it, and then using those other creative energies to birth other ideas, books, painting, art, all of the other things. So we are not yet anywhere on the planet, we are not yet collectively there.
No.
So, the reality is we need to consider going internally and finding out what it is that we really want, instead of having an experience that we're not fully committed to. And then and because these are humans, the non-commitment then creates more issues.
So what is it that we really want? My mind's going back to what the book stated. Looking outside is looking in the wrong direction, and a lot of what we think we want has been overlaid on us. Like, I think about what I've seen with both clients and family and people in society, where there's this part of us where we think that for example, everyone is supposed to have children because you can.
We actually think that because religion has told us that's what sex is for, which is not the case.
No, it's for
communion with the Creator and healing and many other things.
all of that. Give me that. Give me some of that. It's so, that's wild. Like, we've been myopically
Directed.
focused on just this one
But we've been
way.
directed that way. It wasn't by accident. It wasn't from us originally. We were directed into that experience. We were directed to think that way. We were directed to think that we need to be in corporate America, that we're all built for that. We need to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And, only in America does that really take place. I've lived other places. Other people take 6 weeks vacation.
People have siestas. Come on,
Yes.
digestion. Come on now.
So the idea being that the frequency in America has produced the experience we're having here. The frequency in Spain produces the siesta. Like, each place has its own frequency. The ones in Africa are doing what they do in Africa, the ones in villages, the ones in cities. So it's not so much that, but it's that everyone is hungry for what looks glamorous and exciting from the West, which is the U.S., without seeing how corrupt and ruptured it is for the growth of the soul.
Look, I think they're seeing it now. People in other countries are calling America a third world country.
Yes.
And it's looking and feeling like that, especially when you have insight on social media platforms like TikTok that gave us insight to other countries like Asia or China specifically, and it's just not the vibe. But again, to get back to what you were saying, this overlay from the outside, and it's really speaking to, okay, what do we really want? And as you were saying, I could see this is one of the prime reasons why we need to call for the truth.
Right.
Because we have been given so much of the lie, we've bought into it because that's what everybody else is doing. I guess this is what the herd is doing, and if I go against the herd, I'm going to have some backlash, but I think it's time to pivot.
It's very interesting because we are asking for light in the current third and fourth dimension that is moving away. And so we have light in our houses that poisons us. Because we have the artificial light, and we're afraid of the sun, and we won't go in the sun, which is the life-giving light.
True. Isn't that something?
Yeah, so we're being cultivated in the false light, which is not illumination in the sense that we're speaking of.
Yeah.
However, we feel like we got light. There are people in huts that don't have light, but they do have light. They have the sun.
Yeah.
And then they have the natural circadian rhythm of light and dark, which we no longer have. and that helps the body. So again, this idea of the experience that we have where everything, the windows, the light, everything is at varying levels and degrees of not being compatible or uplifting for humanity, it serves us in that it will end this, and we will have a chance to start over and make the right kind of light, the right kind of glass, the right kind of food, so that we can be illuminated. So I see that those who can get to it through their practices and through calling for the truth and through elevation, it's a glory, but many won't because the constructs are so dense to keep us from, like, it's like, well, you got light. Well, you ask why you want light. You got light.
Because this light is killing us. It's the way my mitochondria is communicating. It's like, no, we need what's real, what's true.
We actually need what's true so we can live long enough to figure things out. So,
So the light's dumbing us down.
we're not able to keep health long enough to be productive enough to put things into effect that would help humanity. We're dying too soon.
Yeah.
Life goes by very quickly. And so by the time you figure it out, you may not have the energy to change it. And you don't know that at 20 or at 30. So this is purposeful. This is done on purpose, that we could live longer. Everyone talks about how people live to be 100, 120 productively, but that's not the broad spectrum of humanity.
It isn't. And I can see where changes are required. Although we're not necessarily focused in that direction, we do have classes that are coming up to cultivate the lifestyle, to pull in light that would assist with longevity.
Yeah, are people even wanting to live to be 120?
Well, and that's a really good point. I think that most people are like, there's a young lady who made a song called "Earth is a Ghetto, I Want to Leave." And like in the song lyrics, she's talking about, come and beam me up. Like people are over it, but that's cowardice and a form of escapism, and really an attempt to turn your face away from what you have created.
Yeah, and who wants you?
They never talk about that part. Somebody come get me.
You take yourself with you. You're not washing dishes, dirty bathroom floor self.
Go ahead, keep it going. Again, I'm like, call it out. Call it out.
Take it with you everywhere you go, and your children are the same.
It's like, damn.
So, this idea of thinking somebody wants you is an erroneous concept.
I'm going to do one from your book. How about you want yourself?
Yes.
How about you accept you?
Clean
you up.
Be true to you and the light will turn on. And this idea that someone's going to come and rapture you or take you or save you, why would they? Think about how you live. Think about your car in the drive. When's the last time you cleaned your car?
I feel like people scratching their heads like, damn, why she talking about me? Why she talking about me? No, it's just universal. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's like, have you made yourself beloved for another? Are there nations in the stars waiting for your exaltation? Have you made yourself so exemplary to humanity that you need to expand to the outer reaches of the galaxy?
I hope y'all are writing these questions down. And in your private time, you can ask yourself this just simple yes or no question. No critical thinking needed.
The idea of illumination is relevant and important, and we should go internally into quiet meditation practices. There is no illumination if you do not love yourself. And do we even know what that looks like? Who have we seen who love themselves enough to be the example?
I'm going to say the sun, because the sun has been
I love that.
Extremely exemplary.
Yes, and the trees and the
to
flowers.
be.
Yeah. All of creation.
Yeah.
That has not been cultivated otherwise. Very good. You get a straight A.
I get a straight
Yeah.
A. I get a star. Whoop, whoop.
4 stars.
Yeah.
So yes, that's true. In our appreciation of what has been given to us from creation, there is illumination. In appreciating the grass, the flowers, the earth, the sun, the stars, there is illumination because we, as humanity as a whole, don't have it. All of life is waiting for us to join them and be more life, which is illumination. All of life, all of creation has energy around it, has light around it, illumination around it. We do, but we're busy making sure we eat and do things that diminish it, or allowing ourselves to be spoken to in a way that makes us think we don't have light. So the solution is look at nature, go into nature, be in nature. If you want illumination, be with the sun. It is the illuminator, and then you can get some of that.
That's right.
So, is there anything further?
Yeah, for anyone who's looking to work with us to help you redirect to yourself, because that's what we're doing here. You can book yourself a discovery call. Link will be in the description. And for anyone who's looking to work within our collective for Light Body Movement, where we are resuscitating the light within, stripping off the layers.
Moving through the energy centers.
Yeah, each one.
Yes, so that you can be a self-contained, self-generating sun, solar body, a person. We thank you for joining us. We hope that we'll see you again. We give you the greetings of In Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.